we get into those numbers, Shawn, how are you this afternoon?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, doing well. Things are starting to pick up here on the channel. We had a great draft night. We did the first round live, almost 4.5. I think it was a little over 4.5 hours. 17 people at one point. Somebody from Germany was here as well. So, yes, guys, make sure you hit that follow button and if you're willing to support the channel, hit the subscribe button as well. Shawn, your thoughts on draft night?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great night. And next week we have the schedule release on Thursday night. So that'll be another night where we can be live and having some content kind of coming out as we're talking about it. And then after that, I mean, it comes up soon that where OTAs are starting out. And so obviously we'll start to see some of these rookies and some of the drafting players at the undrafted, and as well as new people on new teams kind of getting moved around where they end up going and kind of where they end up, how they work with their new team. And then you'll also see probably some of the free agencies start getting signed now that the caps have kind of gotten to that number where contracts are getting signed, or more or less every contract that rookie drafts got, pretty much everyone I saw was all fully guaranteed. Therefore, their cap number wouldn't change and they can still sign free agency. So by seeing that, I mean, it's definitely going to start seeing the cap number change once they start signing other people.
Yeah, and Overlord is here saying good morning. Overlord, wherever you are, hopefully it's good morning. It's good afternoon for Shawn and I here in Pennsylvania. But hope you're having a good day. Overlord was here on draft night as well. He also subbed to the channel, so shout out for that. I just shouted out the channel subs over on Twitter as well. So, guys, thanks for going above and beyond to help the channel out. And like Shawn said, we do the schedule release coming this Thursday. We usually start at 7. I'll start at 7:30 this week to go a little later, but because we'll go a little bit past an hour. I'm sure we won't dive into all the matchups for every week, but at least
just the main ones.
Yeah, just the key matchups every week, and hopefully getting some guests on. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, we'll be live at 7:30 again, and let's look here. Like Shawn said, free agency has died down before the draft, but then I expect things to happen now more because teams, any contracts given out now don't go towards the draft pick formula. So teams are going to start spending some money they have now. Nobody's here. Oh, nobody was here on draft night from Germany. Checking in. How are you? It's great to see you again. He says he's lurking. That's fine. Lurk all you want. I did put that in there. So if people are lurking, they could just type that in as well. But he says, "How are you guys doing? Well." Oh, sorry, Shawn. Doing well. I believe nobody's a Steelers fan, so I wonder what he's thinking of how they fared in the draft. Let us know. But yeah. Oh, Jerry Jones said they weren't done with free agency after the draft. What players could they realistically snag?
Julio Jones.
Yeah, they could use a receiver. Shawn, let's look at some of this. You've been doing a great job. Oh, those are our projections. Let's look at the offensive. What did you say? Wide receiver?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's look at. Julio Jones. Oh, I don't have it on the screen. Sorry about that. Thanks for switching that. Julio Jones, Jarvis Landry, Will Fuller, even a guy like Cole Beasley. I don't know if they need a slot guy or if they need an outside guy. Deshaun Jackson's still available. Odell Beckham, I know he's going to miss most of the season, at least half. Be interesting to see. I think he'll go back to the Rams. But yeah, Shawn, you said Julio, but if not Julio, how about some other guys? And Overlord, who do you think for your Cowboys?
Honestly, I could see like an Emmanuel Sanders, if not Julio. Even a Will Fuller, just for speed purposes of it. Obviously, they've had like a Tavon Austin there. They've had players like Odell Beckham already being on a good team would be similar to that, but him being injury prone now, you don't want to really bring him back. If they were looking to like save money and try to bring in multiple positions, I could see them maybe bringing in Allen Hurns or Albert Wilson even. just because they already have Cedric Wilson to sign his big contract.
Mm-hmm.
They have CeeDee Lamb, so you don't really need a number 2 receiver. You need that good 3 to 4 guy. So I could see that being there.
Would someone like Jadeveon Clowney be a good signing? Yeah, well, it depends on what your team needs. Let me switch over to defense. Like I said, Shawn, thank you for doing all these.
I just don't
Go
think
ahead.
Clowney. I don't think Clowney would be a good fit there, just because I feel like he would kind of get lost in their defensive players that they do have. I think that he would be more or less he would probably want to go to a team that's going to have, like, he's going to be the main guy playing pretty much every down almost on defense, where if he goes to the Cowboys, he's not really going to play probably every down. It'll probably be half of a drive or something. Maybe if it's like a 10-play drive, he only might play 5 plays because of the way they move their defense so very much. I think that's why he was a good fit in Seattle, in Cleveland, even in Houston, where he was an every down player on defense unless he was getting banged up.
So looking at the list here, you have players that are put in bold. Those are players that were released this week, right?
Yeah, since last Sunday. I ranked them as once they got released up to the players yesterday. I redid all the rankings Friday, as they pretty much what's left and what their ranking is from their previous season. So therefore, some of the players might be higher that are bolded. I got released than other players, but it just shows that where they've kind of ranked at. Some of them aren't really high ranked players, but could still be valuable. A lot of them also could be players that have to clear waivers. Once they clear waivers, they might just go back to the team anyways, or get terminally released. I know there was 2 players this week that got released and ended up getting signed. I think one was the Steelers and one was the Jets.
Yep.
That ended up signing somebody. I know Nate Herbig, the Jets guard. He was released, I think, from the Bears and got picked up by the Jets. And then I believe it was Chris Finke got released by the Chiefs, and he got picked up by the Bears. And then the rest of them all were either traded or signed throughout the week.
Got you. Yeah, Nate Herbig from the Jets claimed him off of waivers. The Eagles actually released him, and then the Jets turned around and released Greg Van Roten, who was our worst offensive lineman last year. So, but now bringing in a guy like Herbig, who really the Eagles didn't want to cut him, but he asked for his release after they drafted the offensive lineman this year in the draft. So he gets his release. The Jets scoop him up. He's young. I believe he's only 23 years old. So the Jets add another good piece to their offensive line. But let's look at some of the signings. Bortles, I didn't know Bortles signed this week. He with the Saints.
Yeah, I think he'll probably be. They'll probably kind of like the Seahawks are going to. Then Seahawks announced they were going to do. I see the Saints doing it as well. Open quarterback competition. Whoever's there has pretty much got an open chance. There's no guaranteed starter, just for the simple fact that just because Winston signed doesn't mean he's a guaranteed starter there. The guy has more interceptions than he has a touchdown ratio. So Blake Bortles could be that competition that maybe makes Winston wake up and kind of realize, like, I don't have a guaranteed job. But other than that, I mean, you had a couple players here and there that got signed this week. I mean, wide receivers, the only really main name that we've heard of is Alex Erickson. I believe when he signed with the Commanders, I believe he played on the Bengals. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago before they drafted, I think it was Boyd, and before they drafted Jamar Chase as well. He won't be a great fit there, I don't think, just for the fact that they got McLaurin, they got Dotson on draft night, so he's not going to be a number 1 or 2, but he could be that good 3 to 4 piece that they need as well. And then from there, the only really offensive player that signed that was notably great signing, I think, this week was Trey Turner to the Commanders. I think they got a really good guard there for what they need, obviously, for the fact that the Commanders aren't really a great team overall. So to sign someone that's decent that can help is definitely a good fit.
Yeah, actually, on a few years ago anyway, Andre Roberts was one of the best return men in the league. So it'll be
Hmm.
interesting to see with him going to the Panthers there. When he was on the Jets in 2018, he led the league in kick return yards, had almost 1,200 yards and a touchdown. So let's see here. Last year combined, he had between Houston and the Chargers, he had 1,010 yards and a touchdown combined between the two teams last year. So very good special teams player there for the Panthers. Yeah, I like. I'm sure he'll be a backup, but Kyle Van Noy going to the Chargers, I like that one there. Jason Verrett going to the 49ers and Matthews to the Saints. I remember when we started, we were doing the teams that were in salary cap trouble, and the Saints for like 50 million over the cap or something. But yet
Yeah,
they've had one of the best. They've signed some of the most players for some of the most money. So I don't know how they were able to do that, but
yeah, and they still have like 25 million. They're 25 million in the green now.
yeah. So
And it's just I don't understand because they didn't really release anybody major. So it's like, how did they swing so much money all of a sudden?
yeah. So yeah, guys, thanks for showing up. Keep the comments coming. We'll answer your comments before we talk about what we had on the schedule here. But yeah, so Shawn, once again, thanks for keeping up to date on all these names. And like I said,
Yeah,
the draft pick comp formula ended on the 3rd. So some of these guys are gonna start signing, and I expect a lot of releases. I believe the Jets have like 95 players on their roster at the moment. So
yeah,
lots of news to be coming down the line here with releases.
yeah. I saw the Chiefs, I think, and the Jets released like 5 players just alone on like Friday afternoon. It's like they're just going to start getting released, and then they're going to go back to free agency. They'll sign somewhere and probably get signed back to a practice squad overall.
Mm-hmm.
If not, they'll probably end up just being a free agency player until maybe someone gets injured and then get signed, which is what you could see for someone maybe like a linebacker position. Obviously, there's a lot of free agency at that position.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be a position that kind of holds off until like someone gets injured or something, just because that position, once you kind of have that player or have that position filled on your team, you're kind of not going to bring in anybody from the outside. So that might be a position that kind of holds off until everyone kind of tallies off.
Big Body Jose, thanks for stopping by. He says, yo, sup, y'all? Nothing much. Just going over some of the free agent signings in the NFL here this week after the draft. Getting ready for the schedule release coming up this Thursday. Shawn and I will be live at 7:30 instead of 7, and we'll go a little bit past. We usually live stream for an hour, but we'll go past that this week. And last, what was it, Thursday, we started talking about, I started working on our projections for the year. We started with the quarterbacks. So I will make, once I feel more comfortable. I mean, the bye weeks right now on the thing are based off of last year because we don't know the bye weeks this year. But once things are starting to come together, I'm about 70% done. I'll make these available for everybody to look at. I'll have a download link as well. I'll be able to put these in the chat. I'll come up with ways to put this in the chat automatically for all our links, so you can look out at all of our projections. Shawn, on I forget what day it was when I finished up the first set of running back projections, and I asked you,
yeah, Friday night.
I asked you to name the top 5. You sent me back 6, and you had the correct 6, but not. I asked you to do it in order, but you didn't have it in order. But you did have the correct 6. But yeah, here we go. Jonathan Taylor, number 1 so far. Henry, number 2, coming back from injury. Eckler, number 3. Cook, 4. Harris, 5. Mixon, 6. And McCaffrey, I still have. I think McCaffrey's still a little too high there. He gets injured all the time.
Yeah, and I mean, my only concern is, I mean, we'll get towards the bottom where you have Nick Chubb at an average draft position at 7.5. That kind of concerns me for the fact that he's only getting 190 points and he's that high of a draft position. I mean, I'm not going to draft him that high if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
And you got players like Kamara even there. We're not really sure what's going to happen with him.
Right.
I mean, a steal player could be like a James Conner. If you can get him at 53rd pick and he's going to be that many points, that could be like a steal. Even a Cam Akers, that would be huge. And then the player I'm on this list that I'm not really sure how he's going to play this year is J.K. Dobbins, just because he is coming back from his injury. But how often are they going to run the ball?
Right.
But now that they don't really have that big receiver anymore there too, it might not be a running team or more running team than passing team again.
Well, and it's going to be tougher now that, like you said, they don't have that big wide receiver. Defenses are going to be able to play the run a little bit more, not worry about the receiver position. Now they do have the tight end. They have the great tight end there,
Mark Andrews.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, but also you're going to be able to watch the run. You're going to have linebackers just sitting there spying and watching Lamar now because he's not going to be able to run as well easier as he once was to be able to take off and run. So that's going to hurt them a lot more, I think, in the end.
Yeah, as you can see on screen, we do have in the bottom corner there the SG, that's Swift Grips. Use promo code PAFS10 for 10% off at checkout. Mine have been shipped. I ordered some for my PlayStation controller, so I'll show those on screen when we get them. Shawn, did you get yours yet?
I have not.
Yeah, so guys, there's a link over in the chat, so go check those guys out. Like I said, use promo code PAFS10 for 10% off. But yeah, looking at the columns here, of course, the first set of columns is our projections for the year, but then the second set here, the middle set, is based off of what the player did last year. Attempts per game, yards per game, receptions per game, targets per game, and big plays that they had last year. 30 to 49 yard plays, and then 50 plus yards. Not necessarily touchdowns, but just yards. So yeah, Taylor definitely a big play guy, and Chubb, Henry, of course, and he missed. I believe he missed the last 6 or 7 games. But yeah, Chubb as well. But yeah, your thoughts. Look at Taylor, 30 to 49 yards, 13 plays, that big.
Yeah, and I mean, not even all of those are touchdown runs, and so that's the crazy part. But Overlord says they hope that we don't lose to a newbie fantasy player. I mean, me and John had this conversation the other day. When it comes to snake drafts, I'm absolutely terrible, so it probably will happen.
So Overlord, I know I sent you the link. Did you get in? I know only 4 teams have signed up so far. But yeah, anybody else that's in the chat, let me know. Actually, I'll put the link right in the. If anybody that's here watching wants to join our free fantasy football league over on Yahoo, feel free to join there. We got 4 teams signed up. I know I sent I sent out some more invites, waiting for some people to join. So yeah, I'll come up with a prize. If somebody else besides Shawn or I wins the league, we'll come up with some kind of prize, maybe a gift card to like Fanatics or something like that. But yeah, and then to get back to our projections in this last column, this is based off of last year's stats, but this year's opponents. So you know things are going to change. Teams improved, but going off of last year's stats, Jonathan Taylor's got great matchups this year. Maybe not receiving, but he really doesn't get. We're projecting him at 43 receptions, but it looks like he plays tough defenses against running backs out of the backfield. But Shawn, looking at the green and red matchups here, who are you liking, and who might drop because of a tougher matchup for you?
Yeah, I'm liking Eckler. He's going to be playing a lot more, I think, more receiving wise than rushing wise. I also like Leonard Fournette for the simple fact they don't rush him. They use him as more of the receiving back, especially with Tom Brady being back. I also like DeAndre Swift. I think just because he's a great receiving back as well as a running back, he sees the field. Players I don't like, obviously McCaffrey. We've said that many times. We're not really a fan of him right now. Derrick Henry, I'm not sure how that's going to be going forward because of the fact of them losing the A.J. Brown. So how does Tannehill react with that, with a rookie? Do they run more? Do they throw more? Nick Chubb, he's with a running quarterback now. in Watson. So how does that change his offensive this year? And I think Jonathan Taylor might have a down year. I don't think he's going to have a booming year like last year, but I think it could drop him down a little bit in points just for the fact that people are going to be able to start knowing what they're going to exactly need to do to stop him.
I mean, and like you said, drop him down a little bit in points, but right now I have him projected 33 points ahead of Henry. So even if he were to drop 20 points, he'd still be the number one running back at the moment.
Yeah.
Let me go. There was could Josh Jacobs drops? I believe the Raiders drafted a running back. I'll have to look at their draft again. But yeah, look, I mean, I know it's early on but the average draft position for him right now is a fourth round, where usually he's first or second round.
Yeah, and they didn't pick up his fifth-year option. I think that's because more of the fact they didn't want to pay him right now. They want him to kind of play and see how he performs. Just because the running backs coming up in this year's draft are going to be a lot better. So you're going to see more of them. But I don't think his numbers will drop. I think they'll probably plateau about where he was last year. They don't really have a big name running back behind them. But that'll also help for the fact that they have Adams now with Carr. So him able to open up running might actually be able to help, just for the fact of looking at Green Bay with they used Adams as maybe a pick or something, and it would like do fake handoffs and it would work for them. So that could help the Josh Jacobs scenario running wise there.
Yeah, and they did. I just looked up. The Raiders picked up Zamir White from Georgia in the fourth round, picked 122. Looks like they had a third round grade on him. They got him in the fourth round, and it looks like they did it because Kenyon Drake is still recovering from a broken ankle, and Josh Jacobs can't stay healthy. They say so. They're just adding him for insurance. But I believe if Jacobs is healthy, he's their guy. But like this Josh Jacobs right now is just about 48th pick. I agree. He's not a guy I look to grab anyway. But yeah, Shawn, you think 48? Is that still too early?
I think that's about where you should take. I mean, we can actually do a mock fantasy draft if you want. We could see where maybe where they take him actually, and see where he's kind of been high and where he's been taken at the lowest in mocks.
Yeah, we can do that here in a little bit, but let's look at some. I don't have them separated. The highest ranked rookie they have at running back is Breece Hall of the Jets, and I could see him being the number one running back as far as rookies go. He's going to be the Jets' every down back, and Michael Carter will be the guy out of the back. Catching balls out of the backfield more just to give Hall a breather. But yeah, you don't trade up for Breece Hall early in the second round to have him split so many carries. Your thoughts on Breece Hall being the number one projected rookie running back?
Yeah, I agree with that. And then I also see Patterson down there. I kind of think he's going to go a little higher than 94th pick, just for the fact of him being a receiving and a running back. He gets a lot of catches. So I think the 49 catches is kind of low to what his standards would be. So I think he could be worth a lot higher as well.
And Patterson's always a guy. Last year I had him on the wide receiver list. This year I have him on the running back list. But most leagues he can play either or. So it's hard to put. I can't put him. I can't. The way my projections work, I have to pick one position. So yeah. So right now we got him at running back just because that's where he's going to get most of his points from. But yeah, Kenneth Walker out of Seattle. Let's see here. Rye Cannon. I don't think I've seen Rye Cannon in the chat so far. He's a Seahawks fan. I don't know much about him. You know anything about Walker in Seattle?
I believe he played at Michigan State, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's where he played, but I don't really know much about him. I don't know why. Kind of weird that the Seahawks took a running back for the fact that they brought back Rashad Penny. They have Chris Carson still on the roster and ended up bringing another running back. It's kind of weird just for the fact that you already have two already there and you brought one back to sign one. It's kind of weird unless they release Chris Carson now, just because they did bring in one in the draft.
Yeah, he did. Walker played for Michigan State, so let's look at some of the other Spiller, who I absolutely loved. in this draft as well. There he is with the Chargers. He's definitely going to be the backup there. But they still haven't, right now, we haven't projected to get 531 rushing yards and only 18 catches and 133 at the moment. But yeah, any thoughts on Spiller before we get to James Cook?
Nah, I don't think Spiller is going to do really much just because he's behind Eckler. I think it might take a year or two for us to see really what he's worth. And then with James Cook, I think he's going to probably be not an every down back, but he could be like a 2-down back for every drive, 3-down back. Use him more occasion on passing than the rushing. Use Singletary for rushing and bring in James Cook for the passing side of the ball when they want to throw out to the backfield. I think that's more or less what you'll see them use him on. And with Damian Pierce, he played at Florida for Houston, so him going to Houston, I think, is a good fit just because he's one of those guys to put his head down and kind of hold those people forward. So he might be a good enough fit with their offense because obviously they're not built for like speed down there. They're built more of just kind of take long drives and take forever to go down the field. So that might help them a little bit.
Yeah, and James Cook, he was both of us really liked him in this draft. Brother of Dalvin Cook. I thought Buffalo took him a little early. You thought that was perfect spot for him to go there at the end of. I believe he was at the end of the second round. But yeah. Your thoughts on Cook and Buffalo?
Yeah, I think it was a perfect fit for where he needed to go. I think honestly, I would have rather had him in Minnesota having Cook and Cook show, but hey, he's going to go there. I'm probably going to end up drafting him in one of my drafts this year just because, so I can have both of them. I'm going to make sure I get both. But I think he'll do good. I think he's going to share the backfield with Singletary. They're both young. My only concern is with Zach Moss, what kind of happens with him now? They drafted him, I think, 2 years ago. So what could be the outcome of that now?
Yeah, agreed there. Pierce, I don't know enough about Pierce. So we're getting to the bottom of the list here. Yeah, so we can do another mock draft. I believe I still have it from Thursday. Yeah, I still have our grade from Thursday. They gave us a B. That was our team from Thursday night.
I think we picked a great team just because we picked depth and we picked a lot of great players that come off the bench even and fill in roles. Mm-hmm. And obviously that was the highest because before that I think the only highest we got was like a C-.
A C-, yeah.
It kind of looked like my high school grades.
Hey, I would have been happy with C-.
Yeah, true.
So that was the draft board. Let's see. Let's start over here. Oh, go ahead.
Yep, it said restart in the right-hand corner there.
Oh, sorry, I missed it.
Pay attention.
Yep. Start a mock draft. Definitely PPR. We went third last time.
Let's go 5.
Let's go 5. So I like changing it up instead of different.
And so, maybe instead of doing 10 teams, what if we do a 12-team and pick 6? See what it would look like if you had a bigger league.
And pick 6, okay. And we'll take a look to see. I know Overlord was excited, wanted to know where Josh Jacobs was going to go. But yeah, let's randomize. No, we don't want to randomize. We want to start. No clock. This way we can talk about our picks. So let's see here. Let's see. McCaffrey, number 1. No, wow. This is just a sim. There's no way McCaffrey's going number 1.
No, not at all. Truthfully, I'm probably not going to take a wide receiver there with Jefferson or Kupp still on the board. Mm-hmm. I'll have to pass on both of them. So I'm probably going to go running back. And with that being the case, I'd actually probably – what running backs are available there yet? Let's see.
Swift, Harris, Mixon in the top in the tier 2, but then Kamara, Fournette, Williams, Chubb, Jones, Barkley.
See, I actually like DeAndre Swift.
Okay.
I actually like him over the other running backs just because of him being in Detroit.
Yeah, and I would probably go that way as well, just because I don't. you know,
We're
I
not
don't know.
sure what Pittsburgh's going to do, and with Cincinnati, it's hit or miss with them running the ball, especially with the receivers that they have.
So let's draft Swift here at 6, at pick 6. So let's see who else comes off the board and who's available in round 2. All right, so round 2, let's see who came off the board here after we picked. We got Mixon, Harris, Cup, Adams. See, Williams, that's still too early. First round for Williams to me is too early. Your thoughts on Williams?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And honestly, with sticking with the second round, I'm actually going to stick with running back, I think, just because of who's available there. I still see Nick Chubb's on the board, and I think he's honestly a great fit for just because he's still available in the second round at pick 7. That's pretty good, I think, for the numbers that he could put up for you.
Overlord says Kelsey right here. Honestly, that's where I thought Shawn was going to go. He usually takes the tight end in the second round, but I agree with you, Shawn. Chubb still in the middle of the second round. You got to take him.
Yeah, just because tight ends, you can honestly, there's other people you could pick that would be just as good.
Yeah. So let's see here. Let's go Chubb. See who comes off the board here. Kelsey went there. Andrews went
there. See.
So let's see. Akers went at the end of the middle of the second round here. Connor, Kelsey goes. Lamb, Hill, Andrews, Josh
Allen's really.
Kyle Pitts, and then Waddle, bringing us to the third round for us.
See, I'm going to go wide receiver here now, just because tight ends, again, you could fit a different amount of people. And Keenan Allen's still available in the third round.
Now, if you take Allen here and either 4th or 5th, Herbert's there, does that stop you from taking Herbert to have that wide receiver quarterback combination?
Not one bit.
Okay. And any thoughts of taking Kittle? We usually go tight end in the second, but you're going wide receiver here.
I don't like Kittle for the fact of him being with a rookie quarterback, possibly, or second-year quarterback, however we want to determine it. And from the rumors, a lot of people in the San Francisco organization aren't a fan of Trey Lance. So we're not really sure what's going to happen there yet.
So let's take Keenan Allen here. Let's look at who comes off the board.
Yep, Herbert just went.
But let's look. Higgins went after we did. Barkley, Evans, Deontay Johnson, Terry McLaurin, Gibson, DJ Moore, Pittman, Montgomery, Herbert, Metcalf, and Brown. I'm going to start after our stream today. I'm going to start working on our wide receiver projections. It's going to be interesting to me to see where Metcalf ends up, just because they have a big question mark at the quarterback position.
Now, what tight ends are available? Can we see? See, there's still a lot of good ones there. So I'm not ready to take one yet. Okay. So I'm actually thinking stick with the wide receiver. Actually, running backs.
Right now we're in the 4th round, and Josh Jacobs is still on the board.
Yeah, and that's a 12-man team. So you think that's a lot?
Right.
I'm actually going to stick with wide receivers, I think. Yet. Actually, I don't like any of those. So what do we got for lower rankings there? See,
I know who he's going with. This is going to be my guess right here, St. Brown.
See,
Overlord saying it's Judy or Sutton.
See, actually, no. I'm actually was thinking different for that.
Okay,
I'm actually thinking taking Juju Smith in Kansas City. I think him and Mahomes actually could have a great fit, just because he's going to a new team and he's going to be able to have the ball thrown 40, 50 yards down the field, where he played it with Ben Roethlisberger and he couldn't throw 10 yards down the field with consistency. So I think he'll actually going to like that, just because Mahomes can air it out to him.
So let's draft Juju Smith-Schuster, TikTok hero. So let's look to see who came off the board here. So there goes another tight end. Godwin, St. Brown, Cooper. There's Jacobs, end of the 4th round.
So that's about pick 49, 48.
Yeah, yep.
And then Zeke, Thomas, and Kittle. I mean, Thomas is questionable just because we haven't seen him play in 2 years.
Right.
And then Cook, Schultz, and Hopkins.
So, yeah, some more tight ends come off the board. I think this is way too early for Hopkins with him missing six weeks of the year.
Yeah, he's missing half the season almost for fantasy purposes.
Yeah.
And that's not saying their bye week is in 7 through 12. You could lose him for over half a year.
So let's look at our roster real quick. We definitely went Swift and Chubb, and then Allen and Smith-Schuster. So our wide receivers are in the same division. They'll be matching up a couple times. But yeah, where do you want to go here?
I think we go quarterback.
You go quarterback. So do you take Mahomes here?
Actually, yeah. See, the guy I'm thinking that I actually like a lot isn't ranked yet. He's still in tier 3. So for that purposes, then I would say let's stick with running back or receiver.
Okay.
What kind of running backs we got?
We got J.K. Dobbins leading the charge here. Mitchell, Hall, Dillon.
Right there's your main guy. We go Breece Hall.
Breece Hall. Round 5. I actually right now he doesn't have an average draft position, but once they update it, I believe he will be a 5th round pick as well. So let's see what came off the board after our pick. Jerry Jeudy, Mahomes went, Dobbins, Lamar, Robinson. I forgot Robinson went to the Rams. A.J. Dillon, Waller. Tight end's probably starting to get a little thin. Murray, Mitchell, ETN coming back from that injury. Elijah Moore from the Jets, and Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts in the 6th round.
Yeah, that's shocking, actually. But let's go to what tight end position. I think that's where we're going to have to roll now. And the guy actually that I still like, he's available, Dallas Goedert.
Goedert, yep.
I think he's honestly the best fit for a team, especially in the 6th round.
So let's keep looking here. Let's see who came off the board here. Hawkinson went right after us. Bateman, Kareem Hunt in Cleveland, Sutton from Denver, Burrow, the first pick in the 7th round. Actually, I think Burrow will come off the board before that.
Yeah, it'll probably be a little bit before, I think, in maybe the mid-5th or early 6th.
Mike Williams, Dak Prescott,
Gabriel Davis,
and Tom Brady, 7th round.
See, I'm going to go with a quarterback now. We're going to fill that role. He's still available right there at 11, Matt Stafford.
Matt Stafford in the 7th round.
I think that's honestly a steal that late.
So, we haven't been going by this here in the middle here. Tony, I don't like Tony at all.
No, I don't like any of those at all, actually. None of them are a good fantasy fit, I don't think.
So let's look at our – oh, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, Renfro and Smith are good receivers to go in the 7th, especially as Dillon. We got him the other night as a bench player as a steal. Right. So to think about that. And then Michael Carter going in the 8th round as a backup role is kind of questionable. Woods coming back from an injury. Ayuk is we're not sure with Deebo Samuel, what he could bring. And then Burks is a good fit, I think, in Tennessee, especially. And then Claypool is the number 1 clear cut now. And then Clyde Edwards-Helaire, again, is a very question mark.
Yep. So this is our team so far. Stafford, Swift, Chubb, Allen, Schuster, Goddard, and Hall. Defense and kicker can definitely wait till the end. Yeah. So let's start filling in some bench spots here.
I think
see if we can add some depth here.
Yeah, let's see what kind of running backs we got.
So running back, still some good guys on the board.
See right there, Melvin Gordon available. I like that. What kind of wide receivers are available yet? Yeah, see,
Kirk and
none of them really jump off the board at me, other than Allen Lazard maybe.
And he's the biggest question mark here.
Yeah. Other than that, everyone else there is kind of really unsure of fantasy wise, but I think with him being available at running back, I think we have to go Melvin Gordon. definitely show more muscle with our running backs and having a better flex spot possibly as well on bye weeks.
No, they have to update this. Didn't they? Broncos re-signed him, right?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So let's draft Gordon for some depth running back.
Yeah, see, all those players that just got taken off the board, I'm not even sure why they would get taken in that order, just because they're not really, I don't think, great pieces. So I think with that being said, we'll go to wide receiver, and we're going to draft your favorite player. Not Devontae Parker, Allen Lazard.
One of my favorite players. Not my favorite. So let's look here. We definitely added depth now. Oops, where'd we go? Ertz came off the board. Gallup, Wilson, Parker, Boyd, Patterson in the 9th round, and last pick in the 9th round. That's late.
That's a late one. If he was available at 10, we would have definitely snagged him.
Yeah. Landry, who's still a free agent. Myers. I don't like any of the New England wide receivers.
Never have, never will.
Nope. So let's look here. Let's look at our team again. There's our starters. Gordon and Lazard so far as depth pieces. So where are we going now here in the 10th round?
I think getting a backup quarterback is key just because of bye weeks. He's right there, 13th available. Aaron Rodgers, just because you're getting a slinger, and once he starts getting connected with the pieces he has, I think he'll be great.
Man, could you imagine? And taking a guy like Rodgers there, if quarterback gets injured, somebody's going to be willing to overpay for a quarterback.
Absolutely. And with that being said, we're going to go back and we'll just start filling in our wide receiver running backs, just because kicker and defense, you can pick those last, and they'll be successful enough. What kind of running backs do we have below Carson available?
Let's see here. Foreman, Spiller, Chuba Hubbard, excuse me, Justin Jackson, Boston Scott. I really don't like any of those guys.
Yeah, I don't like any of those. So we'll go wide receivers. We have 4 running backs. That should be plenty for a full season.
We do?
Yep, we have Chubb, Swift, Hall, and Gordon.
Oh, Gordon, yep. My bad.
So with that being said, wide receivers, I actually like Chris Olave out of New Orleans. It's crazy to think you're going to draft 2 rookies, but to draft 2 rookies in a 12-man league, that would be honestly a good fit, I think, just because that's depth pieces, especially with him being in New Orleans.
So let's look at him. The earliest he's gone is pick 90, and we're in the 11th round here, so we're definitely past 120. So, and worst is 268. So yeah, let's go Olave. Where do you go? Right there. I just want to check again to see what our depth is. All right, we could still maybe, depending on who's there, maybe a backup tight end.
Let's see who's available.
And then definitely another wide receiver or running back. Let's look at tight ends here. Fant, Henry, Thomas.
See, I actually like the guy right there at 21 as a backup tight end, Evan Ingram. I think, honestly, he's going to be a good fit there with the Jacksonville offense, especially with him being on a 1-year deal. He's going to have a lot to prove, and if he can show that he's healthy, I think he'll be a great fit. I mean, he's going to go from an offense that was kind of bad to an offense that's a little bit better, but I think he could help the team, especially with red zone.
So let's go back. Let me go back. And you want to take Ingram here as our backup tight end, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
And nobody says Evan Ingram is a good choice. Yeah. Nobody. Were you here when I put the link up for the Fantasy Football League? Actually, I'll put that back in the chat again before we get back to the draft here. Guys, guys, if you're watching, Shawn set up a free fantasy league over on Yahoo. We'll determine the draft once we get filled up. But we'll see. We'll see how many you have it open to 20 right now, right?
Yeah, I have it open to the max, but obviously that's going to change once we get closer. But if we could fill in 20 people, that'd be a crazy draft.
Yeah, agreed. There's our promo again for Swift Grips, guys. Make sure you check them out as well. If you play game like PlayStation or Xbox, they have grips for your controllers. So check those out. Use PAFS10 for 10% off your order. Overlord says he's currently doing his own mock fantasy draft right now. When you're done, let us know. Put your results in the chat there. We'll take a look at that as well.
Since now we got our roster, we kind of filled our backup tight end, quarterback. I would say so. Let's stick to running back and wide receivers. With running back position, I mean, it's obviously a weak position. We're not really filling any of those guys in there that are that low. So I would probably stick with wide receiver as the bench players. I think with wide receivers being available, I would think maybe going to have a better depth pieces. I do like Tim Patrick in Denver. Mm-hmm. I think he's a good fit. What do we have below Marvin Jones there?
Jahan Dotson in Washington.
Right there. Take Jahan Dotson, I think.
Who? Nico Collins?
No, Dotson, not Nico Collins.
Why Dotson over, say, Sky Moore? Well, we took a Kansas City wide receiver.
We took a Kansas City receiver and
Christian Watson. Oh, we took Allen Lazard as well.
Yeah, so you got to try not to double up on receivers because then bye weeks are horrible. And I think Dotson's a great fit for the Commanders just because of their quarterback situation with Carson Wentz. He's going to air the ball out a lot. So I think there is definitely a good piece.
Nobody says he got the link. It's a complete different system, but I'll try to join. Yeah, it's fun. It's free. Like I said, we'll come up if somebody beats Shawn or I for the championship, we'll come up with some kind of monetary prize for you.
Yeah, of course.
And so let's look. Now we're in. It's only 15 rounds. Now we're in round 14. So this is where we start looking for our kickers and tight end, our kickers and defense. Right?
Absolutely.
He says, and I have to do a video for a friend in her YouTube channel, but it's football talk. So no, that's all right. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, no problem. Thank you. With the defense, I would take defense last. So let's grab a kicker quick. I think he's available right there. To go Justin Tucker, I think you can't go wrong with that. Especially with the offense that they're going to have this year, he could be a great pick.
And they're saying this whatever formula they're using, they're saying to use the Patriots defense here. I don't even like the Patriots defense at all.
I don't like the Patriots in general.
Yeah, but fantasy, I'm talking fantasy, bud. Let's look here. So you said take Tucker here, and then we'll go
definitely
defense
take Tucker.
Oh, the defense I would have taken. Both the defenses I would have taken were taken back to back. Did you see that?
No.
The Rams and Chargers went back to back.
You know what though? That's okay. Because why? Because the defense right there that I think is key to getting a lot of interceptions in the division, and a lot of teams that get a lot of sacks is right there available. Dallas Cowboys.
Overlord says, I'll send my team on Twitter. Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yep.
We downgraded.
We downgraded.
It was also a 12-man league.
A 12-man league, but I also think it's because we took some rookies. But
yeah, I like
that team.
We also got two free agents, or a free agent in there as well, who's not on a team.
This is true. They don't have him ranked yet.
But we have Allen Lazard with his quarterback we picked up. We have the Rams quarterback and Matt Stafford being able to throw anywhere and anywhere. I don't feel so bad. Overlord says he had a lower score, so it couldn't be worse.
Not sponsored, but I'm showing it on screen. Shawn, have you tried this?
I have.
Did you like it?
It's not bad.
I tried it. What was that? Well, you tagged me one on Facebook. What was that one?
It was a purple flavor. It's grape now.
Yeah. So when I went to Wawa, they didn't have that. But
whatever you do, don't try the cinnamon fire one that they just came out with. No.
It's
Stay
no good.
away.
I like
No.
cinnamon fire. It's like Fireball.
Yeah. That means you're an alcoholic.
Why? Because I like Fireball?
Yeah. I can't stand that stuff.
But how about Tennessee Fire?
I'll drink that all day.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Nope. Different name.
Oh man, so yeah, D64 out of 100. He says Fireball is just too much.
Exactly.
Well, I do have a bottle of Tennessee Fire over on the shelf. So
I'm not trying to die.
See, to me, this team. If this was our team,
I'd be happy with it.
I would be happy with it, and I would also be looking to move Aaron Rodgers.
I'd take this team to a chip. I could take any team, really, I guess. Give me all rookies, and I'll still take them.
Oh my goodness! I have to talk to JJ, who runs the Dynasty League now. I don't even know what draft picks I ended up with.
I tried getting in the other day, and it wouldn't let me in. It says it wasn't set up or anything. So I was like, all right, I guess
I'll text him later. I know he had to go to Florida for a wedding. So,
but I'm happy with our team. I think honestly, what is the projected standings? Does it show you?
I think if I click on, I'll click on that. But let me take a screenshot here real quick. Let me. Oh, I got rid of it.
Oh man.
Oh well. Oh,
it's back.
That's weird.
It came back.
Yeah, but when I do the screenshot thing, it disappears. So,
so I just wonder what our standings are. If it shows it.
Nope. You have to sign up.
That's dumb. Nonsense.
No. Nonsense. Oh man, nonsense. I'm gonna put that over in the chat. Somewhere. Let's get that off the screen. We'll put our quarterback projections back up there.
I mean, if you look at the quarterback projections and what we got, they were 2 steals. I mean, we got guys that were projected in the 74th pick and the 63rd pick. So you think about it, we got them in what, the 7th and like 11th round.
Yeah.
And I mean, Josh Allen projected at 17 there is crazy just for the fact of it's a quarterback.
Yeah. Nobody also said, he says, I don't know if you put this up on the screen. I didn't see it. No, I'll stay in. I don't break up because of the video. No, that's all right. Man, it's almost top of the hour here, Shawn. I know come season time, we have a lot more to talk about. Especially with injuries and fantasy matchups. So it would be interesting to see this year, since we're doing the league, the guys that are in here asking us for advice of when we might be facing them.
I know. I might have to keep some top secret stuff now.
Right. Right. But yeah, let's. I know I have it here somewhere. Let me get rid of. I'm thinking. No, I couldn't. No, I couldn't. I couldn't do 5 hours for that.
We did one. That was 4.5. That was pushing it.
That was a lot. 4.5 was a lot.
I almost had to take a nap there mid-break.
I do have. Let's see here. Let's get rid of some of this stuff that's on the screen. Let's put us over here. Share. We did start talking. We do have. Add the stream. We do have the schedule release coming up on the 12th. That's this coming Thursday. We'll be live at 7:30. I'll start at 7:30. Hopefully to get a Rams fan in here. I'm not sure if he hasn't responded yet. He might be live streaming his own show as well. Hopefully get another Jet fan to come in to talk a little schedule. Your Vikings. What do you think? You think did you guys end up with any of the international games?
Yeah, we played New Orleans, I think, week 4 in London. That's the only one that we have, which is plenty for me.
So here's the Munich game. It's Seattle and Tampa Bay.
Yep. Which is the first time there, which I think is a good game for them, just because it's Tampa Bay. You get Tom Brady. Obviously, he's known everywhere, so that's big for to bring a game into a new stadium, new first time, and then have a known quarterback in Tom Brady going there.
Yeah, so let's look at some of the other games. Let's look at the Mexico game before we look at the London games. Mexico is San Francisco and Arizona. I believe that's a Monday night game, I believe.
Yeah, it is a Monday night game. So you figure they already announced the London games and then the Munich game or however you pronounce Munich. And then you figure the Mexico game being a Monday night game. So that's already one Monday night game out. We had the Thursday night game and the Chargers Chiefs announced.
Mm-hmm.
So now they only have to announce, I think it's like 15 more games.
Yeah, and we do know the Rams will kick off the year unless they change it up. But usually the Super Bowl team gets the kickoff game.
It gets opening night, which I think it's going to be against the Bills, honestly. I think that's the biggest matchup they could get, especially for the Rams. They could be outnumbered by the Buffalo fans, and they can bring the tables.
Let's look here, and we'll put the London games up on the. So London games, I don't know. That's a little early, 9:30 in the morning. I don't know if I'll definitely be up watching. I don't know if I can hop on early to do any live streams, but
just don't drink the night before, bud.
Then what fun is that?
I guess that's true.
So October 2nd. Oh man, early in the year. You guys get the Saints. Very winnable game there. Is this the first time you guys have gone to London?
No, I think it's like the third time. We beat the Cleveland Browns one time, and I think we played another team one other time. And this is either the second or the third, from what I can remember.
So then the next week we have the Giants facing the Packers at 9:30 in the morning as well. Then later in the month of October we have the Broncos facing the Jaguars. It'll be interesting to see. We'll be about halfway through the year. It'll be interesting to see how the Jaguars are playing at that time. Denver's definitely going to be tough. They have a very strong defense, and now having Russell Wilson at quarterback, if he can stay healthy, that Denver should definitely be fighting for the playoffs, if not necessarily the division.
Absolutely, I think the Jaguars at that time too. It could be a shocking team and be something that is a contender. So it's a little bit of everything that could happen there. So it's one of those times that you never really know what could happen with the season. Honestly, it's going to be a really shocking year for the fact that a lot of teams have changed so much over in the offseason.
Okay, and like I said, Thursday night at 7:30, we'll be live streaming that. I'll tweet it out as well. Tag some people as well to let everybody know that we go live. But we also have Shawn. You could just still barely see us in the background there, but let everybody know about DraftKings, and I'll put the links and stuff in the chat.
Yeah, we're just going to set it up that we have it for Thursday, Monday night games, a Sunday night game, and then Sunday throughout the day. Once it goes into it, like Thanksgiving, Christmas Day specials, like the seasonal games, we'll do a special as well. Also, for the fact that we're going to do Sunday all day lineups just because it's competitive and it's fun, and it's every week fantasy. It changes it up, so you don't have to worry about cheering on one specific team.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at the chat, the first link I sent, did it go?
Yes.
The first link I sent, that's the sign up. If you're not signed up for DraftKings, use that link. We both get a little bonus there. And then the second one is the league Shawn set up, where you can look at all the stuff that DraftKings has to offer. Even I believe they do have free ones, like if you want to test it out and stuff. Like you can join something to check it out. I know you set up the one weekend for the USFL. We did that one. It was just the two of us, but we just wanted to check it out. So let's get this off the screen so you can see our beautiful faces again. Whoa, scary. Oh man. But yeah, what do you think? I haven't been, honestly, because we had the draft, I haven't been paying too close attention to the USFL.
I haven't either. I mean, the game on Friday night wasn't started until 11 o'clock.
Mm.
And on the East Coast, I'm not staying up till 2 a.m. to watch a game. And from what I've seen throughout the games, every time they show the fans, there's really any that haven't been any there since opening weekend. So honestly, I could see it already being a dying league just for the simple fact that you already got no fans there, and that's not good.
Right. Well, they are only playing at one stadium, so cost is down. I know they have TV deals with NBC and Fox, so they're getting money for that. So maybe they're not. Maybe the first year they're not really concerned about fan attendance.
Yeah, it could be.
Because they are getting TV money, and I believe Fox Sports owns the league. So
yeah, I believe so. So I mean, they might not be, like you said, they might not be worried, but it could be they should be.
yeah. So we have one game today, the Gamblers and the Breakers, at 3:00 over on NBC as well. So yeah, Shawn, anything to add? We're here at our hour mark. We try to keep it to that during the football season. I intend, if my Jets aren't playing at 1:00, I'll probably go a little bit longer than 1 hour, just to talk some of the early touchdowns in fantasy. Maybe if you guys got some 4:00 games and just want to hang out. But
Yeah, absolutely.
Your thoughts on the fantasy season coming up, and what are you most excited about the NFL season?
I'm just excited in general just to have football back.
Yeah.
We were excited in the beginning for USFL, and it kind of was like a dying sport now already, sort of like we haven't really paid too much attention to it. So I'm just excited to have football in general.
Yeah, me too. And I do. I'll probably watch the Gamblers Breakers game a little bit today. I know NASCAR's got a race. Well, they're supposed to have a race. I don't know what the weather is like where they're racing, but yeah. So we will be back Thursday at 7:30. Make sure you hit the follow button here. Over on Twitter, it's at PA Fantasy Sports. I'll tweet out during the week as well. So guys, thanks again for joining us. Have a great Sunday, and we'll see you all Thursday.
Yeah, see everybody on Thursday night.